Are you aware of this miracle in American history? September 1814, just weeks after the British burned the U.S. Capitol, they attacked Baltimore, Maryland, the third largest city in America at the time. Now, Britain was the largest military force in the world. They had defeated the French after the French and Indian War, and their empire stretched from Canada and the British Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica, to countries in Africa, Egypt down to South Africa, India and Hong Kong and New Zealand, Australia. They had this global power, and they were focusing their military might on America. And they're in the Chesapeake Bay, and they're about to attack Baltimore, Maryland. Well, on the way to Baltimore, the British caught an elderly physician in Upper Marlborough named Dr. William Beans, and the town loved him, but he was now held captive. And so the Americans were afraid that Dr. Beans would be hanged. So they asked a young lawyer, Francis Scott Key, to sail with Colonel John Skinner under a flag of truce to the British flagship Tennant and arrange a prisoner exchange. Concerned that their plans of attacking Baltimore would be discovered, the British placed Francis Scott Key and Colonel Skinner under armed guard above the HMS Surprise, then on a sloop where they watched for 25 hours as 19 British ships continually bombarded the earthen Fort McHenry with rockets and mortars and shells and cannonballs. 1,800 of these were fired. Providentially, a thunderstorm, the same storm that had been over Washington, D.C., driving out British, this storm system moved over Baltimore and dumped so much rain that the ground became soft, and most of those 1,800 cannonballs the British fired sank in the mud instead of exploding. On the morning of September 14th, through the dawn's early light, Francis Scott Key saw the flag still waving. Elated, he penned the Star Spangled Banner. Most are familiar with the first verse, but the fourth verse, which is a part of the Star Spangled Banner, had a further impact. It said, "Oh, thus be it ever when free men shall stand between their loved home and the war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace may the heaven-rescued land praise the power that has made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto, in God is our trust. And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph shall wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave." Well, that phrase, "in God we trust," became so popular that it eventually became the national motto. And it was put on our coins, put on our paper currency, and we still have that in the visitor center in the capital of Washington, D.C., and above the Speaker of the House head is the phrase, "in God we trust." On March 22nd, 1814, Francis Scott Key told the Washington Society of Alexandria, "The patriot who feels himself in the service of God, who acknowledges him in all his ways, has the promise of almighty direction, and will find his word in his greatest darkness, a lantern unto his feet and a lamp unto his paths. He will therefore seek to establish for his country in the eyes of the world such a character as shall make her not unworthy of the name of a Christian nation." On March 3rd, 1931, Congress adopted Francis Scott Key's Star Spangled Banner officially as the national anthem. The fourth verse of the Star Spangled Banner inspired Congress, March 3rd, 1865, to place the motto, "In God we trust," on our nation's coins. As Speaker Schuyler Colfax noted, the last act of Congress ever signed by President Lincoln was one requiring that the motto, "In God we trust," should hereafter be inscribed on all our national coin. The motto, "In God we trust," was inscribed in the U.S. Chamber above the Speaker's rostrum, above the Senate's main southern door, on a tribute block inside the Washington Monument, on stained glass window in the U.S. Capitol's chapel. In God we trust. America has a unique history. It's important for us to remember these miracles in American history.